You're listening to the Fast F1 podcast. Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to the Fast F1 podcast with me, Danny Kane.
And I'm Eddie Meteye-O'Kane.
And today we're talking about the 2024
Dutch Grand Prix.
Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort. I couldn't remember the name of it. I just could remember the track.
We've been away for so long, we don't even know what F1 is anymore.
It's been back. It's been 4 weeks, but we're back with more F1 finally.
I counted down like every single day. I'm not even kidding. Literally, after the Bonus Road America episode, there was like zero motorsport until I believe it was the IndyCar race about a week ago.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of motorsport action to get involved with, but Formula One is back, and I'm sure you're excited to have it back.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
So, give us a quick recap of some of the storylines surrounding practice and off track.
My favorite one, by far, is Jack Doohan, who is currently the reserve driver and the 2025 driver for Alpine.
Yeah, so Jack Doohan was confirmed driving for Alpine in 2025. What else did you notice this week?
I noticed that, I believe that's really the only thing on the news.
That's the only thing that happened. Jonathan Wheatley.
We've discussed that
moving
one
from Red Bull to Aston Martin.
I think we already... Aston Martin?
To, where's he going?
Audi?
Oh, Audi. Whatever. One of those A teams.
And one of the 24 races.
Yeah, right. Well, what about practice?
Yeah, we practice. For one thing, we were both pretty shocked on FP3, but as far as the whole weekend goes, practice, qualifying, and the race, the wind speed was tremendous. Like, I pulled up two things near Zandvoort on my phone for the weather app, and throughout the entire weekend, it showed wind as the forecast. Not like rain or sun or anything, it just showed the wind icon throughout the entire time, and it also showed quite a few wind warnings.
Interesting.
So I was like, gosh, this could play for some very interesting race results. Well, how wrong I was.
Well, something had to make those sand dunes.
Yeah.
So, what else happened in practice?
FP1, FP2, and FP3, Nico Hülkenberg went off every time, I believe. At least once. So,
interesting. Okay.
I think he went off twice in FP1, but not a good weekend for him at all. Anything
else notable in any of the practice sessions?
Yes, I know. You're just pushing me to say I'm getting there. Logan Sargent had a major crash in the third practice session.
Yep.
Ripped the fuel out of the car. Not like Grosjean kind of fuel, but you could see it actually scattered on the track.
Was that fuel?
I believe
that
it
caught on fire. I think that fire would have been a lot bigger fire if it had been a fuel
Well, there
fire.
was. I could tell immediately that the first thing I saw was the oil on the track.
Yeah, oil makes more sense. Not necessarily
fuel. Okay,
fuel is much more explosive than that fire.
Yes, the oil I saw on the track. There was quite a bit of oil. There was more oil than debris.
So probably the liquid that you saw on the track was probably coolant, because that doesn't burn, and that's why it didn't start on fire. But then the engine fire at the back of the car would have been oil or hydraulic fluid.
It wasn't like a Gerhard Berger crash at Imola, where it just lit the one line.
Or a Romain Grosjean crash at Bahrain, where the car exploded basically after he went through the fence.
That was scary. That was the first race I had actually ever saw.
That was a pretty scary crash, yeah. So what about qualifying? Is there anything really jump out at you in qualifying?
Shock. Q1 exits. There really weren't. The only one that was really a shock was just Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah, not much of a shock. Just kind of like a bit maybe disappointing.
It was the most shocking of them.
Yeah, and it's not even all that shocking. The V-Carb has been there some weeks and not others.
It's one of the bottom teams.
Yeah, exactly. So what about Q2?
Q2, shock exits for Lewis Hamilton and
Carlos Sainz.
Yes, I know.
Didn't want to admit that it was him,
No,
did
I
you?
really didn't.
But yeah, Hamilton outqualified by Russell, knocked out in Q2.
And he was in 5th place, and then he just didn't do any more runs. And the thing is, everyone ahead of him actually were in the pits. So I was like, after I saw Hamilton was eliminated, I was like, did these guys in the pits actually play this right?
Well, I don't know. I didn't really get to watch qualifying myself, so I didn't see how the timing worked out. But
yeah, you did. You saw it with me.
Well, we were watching it, but in the van.
Well, you were falling asleep,
and we weren't
again.
able to really listen to it at that point in time.
Yeah, that's true.
But
yeah,
so Hamilton and Carlos Sainz knocked out in Q2, and then Hamilton later on got a penalty, 3-place grid drop for impeding Sergio Perez was it Perez that he impeded?
It was Perez who he impeded. I mean, yeah, I would totally agree that it was Perez. Perez's penalty that Hamilton deserved.
Okay. Hamilton deserved the penalty for impeding Perez.
I don't know how I worded that. Sorry. The penalty was definitely deserved. I saw he was completely on the racing line, and he saw him. I mean, if you didn't see him, he has mirrors. I mean, you can't use that as an excuse.
Well, okay, but the mirrors, when you're not on a hot lap and somebody comes flying up behind you on a hot lap, you don't see him in time in the mirrors to be able to get out, to jump out of the way.
Well, I guess that's one of the harder turns, but still, he was right on the racing line.
Yeah, and so probably
his engineer could have told him.
That's what I was about to say. Is that it probably is more on the team for not keeping him as informed as they needed to be about where somebody was coming up behind him on the track. But I mean, it's a team sport, and Hamilton was the guy driving, and he was on the racing line, and so he and the rest of the team got a three-place grid drop for impeding.
But it was 100% deserved.
Yeah.
Like, if they didn't get a penalty, as much as I like Hamilton, I really think that he would have gotten a penalty anyways.
So then, on the other end of that, Alexander Albon made a great job of getting into Q1. He did a great job of getting into Q1. Getting into Q3.
And getting 8th in the end.
And then he was disqualified from qualifying.
He did not actually start last, though.
He didn't, but that's for other reasons. But his qualifying wasn't counted because they had a technical...
No, not that. There was another person, actually. There was Kevin Magnussen.
No, but Albon was disqualified because of a technical infraction with his floor.
I'm confused about Nico Hülkenberg, though, because, not Nico Hülkenberg. He started in the pits because he took some new components, but Albon didn't. Albon was disqualified. Sargent did not start. Who started last?
Sargent didn't start qualify. He didn't qualify because of his crash, but he still was allowed to race because he had shown in practice that he had the pace to be safe on the track.
So Albon was last then, probably.
So, yeah, Albon was last, or Sargent was last, or Hülkenberg. Somebody that had a penalty ended up starting last.
Someone had a penalty, except for Hamilton.
I wasn't paying attention to that end of the grid because I was too paying attention to the pole sitter, Lando
Norris, pole number 4?
I think it's like pole number 6.
Not I'm not
sure of the number exactly. But
4 would be just Russia, and then the 3 this season. But
so I'm not sure how many poles he's had, but he got pole position.
He did.
Max Verstappen starting in second, which was a little bit of a surprise because he didn't seem to have much pace.
Well, it wasn't
qualifying up to that point.
It wasn't a surprise necessarily. It's the fact that the Red Bull's pace this weekend looked awful.
Yeah, they were pretty slow.
They finished quite decently, though. Perez managed a top 6 finish for the first time since, I believe, Miami.
Yeah. A little bit of a bounce back finally from him.
That's 9 races.
Yeah.
But he did it.
Yeah.
He did it.
So, Norris, then Verstappen, and then in third place was Piastri.
Yeah.
Who had a good qualifying as well, and really it looked like the McLarens were going to lock out the front row, but in the end, Verstappen managed to stick it in second.
Yeah.
So then the race comes along, and Norris has been well known for getting his flying starts, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Or
Verstappen was only like a full second ahead of him after the first turn.
yeah. Once again, Norris let down by his starts. Went from pole position. He was not able to start well. Still has not managed to lead the first lap after starting in first in any race.
A month of training, and he said he knows what he needs to work on. He needs to work on his starts.
Yeah, and actually his reaction time was very good. It's just that he didn't get away well. I think that he had some wheel spin. He just didn't get away well. But his reaction time was actually, I think, better than Verstappen's was.
No way.
Yeah, but maybe Piastri in third also had a poor start.
Yeah.
And Russell I think it was Russell Leclerc in fifth also had a bad start.
Yeah.
Something like that. But
I think Russell overtook both of them.
yeah, it seems that maybe the McLarens just didn't have their starting configuration set up correctly because both McLarens got away poorly.
But in the end, Russell, the Mercedes being as slow as they were this weekend, surprisingly, they look like where they were at the start of the season, which is all right for them.
Well, they were faster through practice and qualifying. They actually were setting really good pace, but for some reason in the race they dropped away.
Practice and qualifying? I'd only say they were fast in practice 3.
I think Russell topped practice 2. I think he was the fastest driver in free practice 2.
Yes, he was.
So they had pace, but they just didn't show up in the race.
They did, but we could immediately tell when Hamilton was knocked down in Q2 that it wasn't the same. But
then during the race he was able to move forward quite a bit as well.
Yeah, well, at first, and then pit stops happened.
Well, he started.
We'll get to that in a moment.
He started in what, 15th place, 16th place, something like that, and he ended up finishing.
Hamilton, not Russell.
Yeah.
Hamilton had a pretty decent drive.
He finished 8th.
He finished 8th. He could have done better because it's Hamilton, but Hamilton's pace this year has not been the best.
Well, and Russell was holding on to, I believe, 3rd place after the start for quite a while.
Yes.
And couldn't hang on to the back of Verstappen and Norris, but was still holding off Piastri and Leclerc until the pit stops,
true.
And then it kind of all went wrong for him.
Yeah, but in the end, it was Mercedes' loss and Ferrari's gain. Leclerc went up to P3 from like 6th or something after an amazing pit stop race. And Sainz, and I think I know why Sainz didn't qualify too well, is because he also had an engine penalty. I just remembered that. He also had not a penalty, an engine issue where he had to take new components of his engine, and he didn't get any run in free practice 2, which this weekend was basically the only dry weather free practice. Mm-hmm. So he didn't really get much dry weather chance. So he was still learning the track in qualifying, basically.
Okay. Well, I want to talk about the battle at the front then, because Verstappen got away.
So I can actually basically tell what this was. So Russell, because the Mercedes was slow this weekend, he was kind of slowing everyone up, but he was still pushing. Norris was within that second that he lost in the first turn for the next 18 laps.
No, he wasn't. He that was part of the reason it took that long. Is he was out of DRS zone. But after the first lap.
But he was still more like a second and a half away throughout all of it after that.
He managed to stay in touching distance with Verstappen. Then eventually, when Verstappen's tires started kind of going off... Norris kind of came alive, and he was able to get past. In addition to that, they ran longer than Verstappen. They had the pace and the gap on Verstappen to where they could stay out a few laps longer than Verstappen did before they changed to the hard tires, and then from there Norris just walked away with it.
I think
it's the kind of race that you would expect that Hamilton would have made in his dominant years, or Verstappen last year, just kind of ease away to a 20-second gap.
You mean 37? He did it to 37 last year.
Yeah.
But
Verstappen did.
I think you mean, instead of saying kind of worn his tires or kind of started to build a gap, I think you mean he built a 22-second gap, and his tires were worn.
Yeah, well, I mean, they weren't, though. At the end of the race, He popped in the fastest lap of the race.
Verstappen's tires.
Well, yeah, but even Verstappen
he
was
popped
going
in-
faster than just about anybody. He was faster than anybody except for Norris and Leclerc and Piastri at the end.
I noticed how fast Sainz was going. He was building a 22-second gap. And then at the end, on the last lap, when he took that fastest lap with, 30 or 40 old tires, hard tires, and set the fast lap, I was like,
yeah,
McLaren
he wasn't pushing that whole race.
have done a amazing strategy. If he didn't go for that fastest lap, that's a point that could be crucial in the championship.
Well, and it shows that he wasn't pushing that whole race. He had he had it under control the whole time. Even and he even said that after the race that it only took a few laps into the race before he knew that he had it.
What else?
He was still behind Verstappen, but he could tell that Verstappen wasn't getting away. He's like, okay, I got this.
Yeah. What else did he say after the race?
And then, yeah. I don't know, a cheeky little moment from Norris where it comes on the radio after the race and used Verstappen's kind of signature catchphrase here at Verstappen's home race. And said it was simply lovely.
It's a dig into the fans too.
Maybe, but
geez.
At the same time, the two of them are friends and maybe just kind of a poke at him a little bit.
I would say they are friends turned rivals, but ever since Austria, they're turned enemies.
No, they're not enemies. They get along fine.
I don't know.
Norris even admitted that after Austria that he, it was heat of the moment kind of stuff, but they're cool now.
Well, of course, he doesn't want to start that sort of thing, but, no one wants to start that sort of thing.
On track, they're enemies. Off track, they seem to be getting along just fine.
Everyone's on track, everyone's enemies.
Yeah.
Off track, the only enemies are Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton, okay?
All right. So, predictions for this race. Do you remember what we predicted 4 weeks ago?
Oh, no. We're both wrong anyways, I think. Wait, did you say Lando Norris would win?
I don't remember what I said.
I think you said Verstappen would win. You said Hamilton for third, though, I think.
I don't know. We'll have to look it up.
We will have to look it up. In the meantime, we're coming to Monza in a week time.
1 week's time to Monza, Italy, and home race for Ferrari.
The Temple of Speed.
And what do you think is your top three for Italy?
Pretty darn confident. I feel like Verstappen could have an engine issue. I think the last time he had one this season wasn't it was Australia, but he obviously he's taken more components than that. I feel like he's at least used another two, and he's had one at Belgium as well. I still think, even though that was two races ago, I feel like he's going to have an engine issue, not necessarily an engine problem, though, where he's going to have to take another penalty. I also feel like his tires this weekend, just like this weekend, are not going to go so well. I don't even think he's going to finish in the top
The Mazda's
4.
not very hard on tires, though.
I know, but it's a high-speed circuit, and overtaking here is everywhere. Track position doesn't even matter, really.
Oh, I wouldn't say that, but...
Well, and qualifying. But
so what is your top three for the finish at Monza?
I'm almost positive that I think Carlos Sainz is going to win.
Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari, huh?
He took pole position last time round, and then he took pole in Singapore the next time round, and won Singapore. But his pole position lap at Monza was right ahead of his teammate Charles Leclerc, and they were both way faster than Verstappen that race. Or that qualifying. I do think it's going to be the same top two from last year's qualifying in this race.
You think it's going to be the same top two from last year's qualifying finishing this race?
In the top two. Well, of course they're going to be finishing this race.
Which was?
Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc. And my third is going to be a big surprise.
Okay.
I think that it's not going to be a McLaren. It's not going to be a Red Bull, or at least not half a Red Bull. I think Perez is going to get that third place. This is a big prediction.
So you're thinking Sainz, Leclerc, Perez for the top three. Very unconventional for this time of this particular season.
Oh, yeah. Like the three people who have done the worst recently.
And I'm thinking about how at Zandvoort, the McLarens were very dominant in the high speed stuff. The Red Bull was faster in the slow speed stuff. And I'm going to say it's going to be a McLaren top 2, followed by Verstappen.
No way. Who's going to win?
I'm going to say it's going to be Norris,
Again?
Norris, Piastri, Verstappen.
Do you think it's going to?
I think the pressure is mounting on McLaren to favor Norris as long as he's still in this fight with Verstappen.
If he loses the championship to 7 or less points, I swear he might consider leaving for Red Bull.
Well, I don't know about all that, but yeah, I know what you mean. The 7 points that he gave up at Hungary,
Literally
giving up the win to. Was it Hungary?
It was Hungary.
Yeah, giving up the win to Piastri.
If he still finishes like the top 2 at Zandvoort today, well, not today, just like yesterday, where it was Norris and then Verstappen. If that's how it is with maximum points, as in fast laps, sprints, all that, going to Norris, I think, maybe, that would mean that he would be less than 7 points away from Verstappen by the end of this, if that's how they finished the rest of the season.
So here's the other thing. McLaren right now are 30 points behind Red Bull.
I'm so ecstatic.
So here's my other prediction for the next race.
Oh.
The end of Monza, McLaren is leading the Constructors'
No
Championship.
way. Perez isn't going to get in the points.
He's not going to get enough points to make up the difference. So
Wait.
if it were Piastri and Norris getting the first 2 positions and then Verstappen getting 3rd, that by itself is
impossible.
What's impossible?
That's impossible. If you think that Norris and Piastri are going to win, but Verstappen still gets into to 3rd place, that's still 15 points, and that would cause a 45-point gap. If Norris scored the fastest lap and they finished a 1-2, that'd be 44. So they'd still be 1 point behind.
I'm still going to say that
You're still going to say that?
Yeah.
It's not possible.
Well, okay, but if I get... I think my prediction for the top 3 is less likely than that McLaren is ahead in the championship. I think it's more likely that they're going to be leading the championship. I'm spreading my bets out here.
You're not going to get one of these right, guaranteed, right?
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. No, it's either one or none.
Well, we'll see this weekend, right?
Yeah.
So no gap this time. After 4 weeks off, we've got a doubleheader. So we'll look forward to that this coming weekend. Until then, this has been the Fast F1 podcast with me, Danny Kane.
And I'm Eddie Meteye-O'Kane.
Thanks for listening, and we will see you after Monza.
Bye.
Fast F1 is produced by Danny Kane and Eddie Meteye-O'Kane. All rights are reserved. Music is performed by Alex Zavesa. Thanks for listening.